more tour of the gardens. I've got taro here. Those are 2-year-old chestnuts. Honey locust seedlings coming up. So to germinate those, I do a hot water scarification. I bring the water to not quite, but almost a boil, sort of roiling a little bit. And then I stick in the seeds and I let it sit for about 24 hours. Then I strain the seeds and they pop pretty much immediately. A lot of them will have little tails once you strain it. Got Jamaican sorrel, Hibiscus sabdarifa, various sweet potato varieties, some standards like Covington, but a lot of these are just kind of seed grown sweet potatoes. Let's look at the chestnut beds here because they're looking good. I actually have them fenced not for the deer but for the chickens, so now that the beds are well established I don't have to worry about the chickens so much anymore. So part of the fencing's been taken down over here. So these are this season's chestnuts. Nice, thick, lush growth. That's a block of American chestnuts. They got some browning on them. I'm not sure what's going on there. My soil might be too rich. Here we've got hickories coming up. So we've got a row of pecans there. Where I haven't weeded, they just maybe haven't started germinating yet. They're late to germinate for me because I hold my hickory seed in the fridge over the winter to keep the critters from them. And then when I plant them out in the spring, like in March or April, let's say, they need to experience some natural temperature variations and probably some reabsorption of moisture before they crack. So I usually don't see good germination until June. And so here we are, late June. Here's a bed of Granger seedlings. Now, by contrast, if I were to plant a hickory seed in the fall and let it overwinter naturally, it might be up in April. I've heard good reports from friends who do that, and you might get some earlier head start on these things, but I just can't take the risk of leaving the seed in the ground over the winter, so I don't do that. Now, and I keep them in sealed Ziploc bags in the fridge, so they're not cured nuts, they're not dried nuts. You know, if you dry your nuts too much, they will be unviable. So I have nuts that are, you know, basically they have the moisture they need, and because they're in sealed Ziploc bags, they won't lose any moisture. But I guess maybe it's not quite enough moisture. I might try doing buckets of moist sand in future years. But, you know, I'm getting good germination. Everything's fine. Everything's viable. Everything pops. So no harm, no foul. These are pecans. There's this interesting thing that happens where some seed lots will germinate a lot more readily than others. So these ones came up earlier than these ones. Now, I have them all mixed together as pecan. So I don't know that that's actually a different seed lot or if there's different conditions in the bed which led that to emerge first. But basically you'll see sort of this wave emerge where once they start to poke up, they sort of unfold in a wave down the rest of the bed. So I'm not sure what that is. If it's maybe like root hormone exudates being excreted by the first ones to germinate, and then that sends the cue to the rest, and then they unfold accordingly, or maybe it's just, you know, microclimate and slope and things like that, and one part of the bed is moister than another or warmer than another. I don't really know, but I see it every year.